Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is Wyln News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. Wyln News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Wyln News. I'm Daniel Weichman. An award was listed for Hazleton City on March 16th by the Commonwealth Financing Authority, where the YMCA of Greater Hazleton will get support for revitalization plans for the former YMCA building located on Church Street. The Greater Wyoming Valley Area YMCA is currently working with the YMCA of Greater Hazleton to renovate the building into an early education center. It will provide daycare, preschool, and after-school opportunities for up to 150 underdeserved youths. The Hazleton Center is anticipated to participate in the Keystone Stars Quality Assurance Program, accept Early Learning Resource Center subsides, and pre-K educational investment tax credits. They would allow low-income families to get access to quality childcare at affordable costs, according to the press release. In other news, a woman from Shepton is facing charges after she fled from a traffic stop by state police in Hazleton on March 11th. 33-year-old Fanny Benzat was taken into custody after she had crashed into a pole in Hazel Township when attempting to elude police. According to troopers, officers spotted a vehicle without their lights on around 4:43 a.m. in the Hazleton Shopping Center on West Broad Street. The driver, who was later identified as Benzant, then failed to stop for a red light twice and failed to comply for a traffic stop by officers, where she sped up to 70 miles per hour in a 55 and 45 mile per hour zone. Troopers eventually were able to stop Benzant and her vehicle after they initiated a precision immobilization technique before she crashed. According to troopers, she appeared to be intoxicated once she was pulled from the vehicle. A woman from Wilkes-Barre has been acquitted on felony assault charges after she was accused of assaulting a woman and hitting a man with her car at a youth football game. 38-year-old Rochelle Zeller was found not guilty of endangering the man she allegedly hit with her vehicle in November of 2021 and punching a woman during a fight. Prior, she was facing a state prison sentence if she had been convicted on 2 counts of aggravated assault. The judge split the summary harassment offenses, finding Zeller guilty on one and not guilty on the other. A Pottsville man has been sentenced for cyberstalking. According to officials, Aaron Vandaley used electronic means to harass 6 victims that were all past romantic partners or friends and relatives of former romantic partners. Officials state that Vandaley made up false accusations about the victims to law enforcement and threatened to kidnap and murder the child of one of the victims. A U.S. district judge has sentenced Vandaley to over 6 years in prison and has ruled that Vandaley will no longer be able to contact the victims. A man is now locked up in Schuylkill County Prison after he led police on a pursuit last month. According to court documents, an on-patrol officer observed a vehicle with an expired inspection sticker around 2:15 p.m. When he stopped next to the vehicle, he noted that it also did not have a license plate. The male driver made eye contact with the officer before pulling away at a high rate of speed. The chase continued until the officer was unable to follow up an undrivable path. Later through the investigation, 49-year-old Frank Capes of Bloomsburg was found to be the driver of the vehicle. On March 20th, Capes was taken into custody after a warrant was issued for his arrest on charges of fleeing and eluding a police officer, recklessly endangering another person, driving an unregistered vehicle, reckless driving, and other traffic offenses. A restaurant in Pittston Township sustained damage on Monday night after a tractor-trailer backed up into the business. One of the owners of Chef's Corner, Mick Barnes, reported that he had received a notification from his security camera showing a tractor-trailer close to his restaurant. When he watched the video, it showed the truck backing right up into the building. According to Barnes, the Pittston Township Police spoke with the driver of the tractor-trailer and stated it was just an accident and he hadn't seen the building behind him. Thankfully, Barnes reported that the damage only extends to the front of the restaurant and the inside is safe. State police have arrested a man on Sunday after he swung a wooden board at state troopers. According to officers, Christopher Simpson was under the influence of a controlled substance and swung a 2x4 at a generator when they arrived at the scene. When troopers told Simpson to put the board down, Simpson refused and started swinging it at the troopers. State police state that they were forced to use a stun gun and substantial force to arrest Simpson. Once in custody, Simpson was transported to the emergency room for evaluation before being transported to the Monroe County Prison. PennDOT highlighted some of its recently piloted innovations today in its Focus on Innovations publication. The projects listed in the publication are among more than 60 continuous improvement initiatives and almost 200 employee-driven innovations PennDOT has undertaken in the last few years. Some of the innovations featured include electronic ticketing, mobile truck barriers for quicker lane transitions, and a video sharing agreement that provides traffic camera access to over 200 participating agencies. To learn more about PennDOT innovations, you can visit their website at penndot.pa.gov. Coming up on WYLN News, the Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held a job fair today at the Laurel Mall. Plus, the Hazleton Area High School welcomed visitors around our area to speak to female students for Women's History Month. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Melania. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, here to ask you, is your kitchen ready for an overhaul? We offer free in-home consultation and design, no interest financing, professional removal and installation, countertop and backsplashes, hardwood and laminate floors, kitchen appliance sales, service and installation, and of course, everyday low prices. Grand Central in Hazleton, helping you make your house a home.
Welcome back to WYLN News. The Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held their annual job fair today at the Laurel Mall in Hazleton. The Chamber invited those individuals that were looking for part-time or full-time work to attend and visit the many organizations that were searching for those such as themselves.
This is our 27th annual job fair. Our chamber has been coordinating this for many years, and we're here at the Laurel Mall today. It's really an opportunity for the business community to come out all at one time and showcase the job opportunities that are available to the community members here in the greater Hazleton area.
Many businesses took part in the fair, including our partners at Lehigh Valley Health Network and Johnson College.
Yeah, I am the new Hazleton campus manager for Johnson College. We just opened in Humboldt, so our first class of students will be coming in August. And we're here to recruit for some professors and some instructors, as well as to promote our new programs that we're offering, associate's degree certificates and some continuing ed, including our CDL course.
The fair ran until 4 p.m. today, where businesses discussed opportunities for those searching and starting a career. Over the past few years, the job fair averaged about 300 to 500 job seekers. Plans released on Wednesday revealed that the City of Hazleton will be using multiple funding sources to complete at least $4 million in street repairs and related improvements over the next 2 years. They released a list as part of the 4-year maintenance program that is geared at having all thoroughfares in the city repaved or repaired. According to Mayor Cassatt, he stated that the intention of the proposal is to be done within the next 4 years and to have every street, if not repaved, repaired. If the street is not entirely paved, it will be overlaid. The city will be using a combination of funding sources to complete the work, including money from the general fund, federal community development block grant funds, and a local share account grant. The Wiltsey Center, located in Hazleton on 3 West 9th Street, is still closed until further notice following an incident where plaster had been found falling from the ceiling earlier this month. President of the Wiltsey Center, Carmela Yankovic, stated in a phone call to us that she had received a call earlier this month about the ceiling and an engineer was called to test the strength of it. However, as the engineer was doing so, more bits of plaster fell to the floor below, deeming the center closed to students and events. As of Friday, Carmela has yet to hear the status of the center in order to determine how to proceed with renovations and events. The Satisfaction International Rolling Stones tour has been canceled due to the severity of the problem, which was scheduled for April 28th. Anyone who bought tickets will receive a full refund, and anyone who bought them at Boscov's in the Laurel Mall can contact Carmela Yankovic at 570-455-5863. The Can Do Community Foundation congratulated 7 area high school students who were recently awarded the Edgar L. Desson Community Service Award and part of the Junior Leadership Hazleton program. This year's graduates were presented a certificate from selection committee members Melissa Frederick, Can Do's administrative coordinator, and Can Do's Community Foundation's administrative coordinator, and Jocelyn Sterenkock, Can Do's director of economic development. Penn State Hazleton is inviting the community members to visit their campus for an egg hunt at 6 p.m. on March 29th. The event will also include a donation drive that benefits the Hazleton Animal Shelter, photos with the Easter Bunny and Nittany Lion, and other fun activities. Snacks and refreshments will also be provided. The free event will be held in the Dr. Thomas M. Cassis Gym of the Physical Education Building. Doors will open at 5:30 p.m. with the egg hunt beginning at 6 p.m. The egg hunt is open to all children ages 12 and under, and they must be accompanied by an adult. An officer that served for 25 years to the Borough of the Berwick Police Department retired on March 20th. At the monthly council meeting, Stephen J. Levon was presented with a certificate of appreciation by the mayor, as well as a commendation for distinguished services for recognition and outstanding sustained and exemplary performance and devotion to duty. Levon was hired as a full-time police officer with the Borough of Berwick Police Department in 1998, where he received a provisional appointment as police sergeant in 2003. In part with Women's History Month, the Hazleton Area High School welcomed visitors from the Pennsylvania State Police, Troop N, an Amazon executive, an Army pilot, and a TV news anchor from WBRE to speak to the girls in 10th grade.
What I really hope that they take from this event is that a career path, it's not a vertical straight line up, that there are going to be obstacles that they're going to face in their career, and that they make the decision to face those obstacles and they come out on top.
The program was an all-women's discussion where they spoke about competition in the workforce that they face, discrimination, and the empowerment of women in the field, and hope to be an inspiration to the girls in the audience.
So this was a really cool event because ultimately what we wanted to do was get a varied career path panel. So a bunch of women from different career paths who would be able to answer questions from those career paths and kind of give a broad spectrum of options for young women to say, hey, I see a pilot, I see a trooper, I see a, fill in the blank, and that's something that I might want to do. And so I think representation in these roles is really important, especially for young ladies coming up, to see things that they can potentially follow as a career.
The guest speakers spoke about the challenges in the workforce as a woman and what heights they had to climb up the ladder to success. Overall, the women proved to be inspirational heroes to the audience as the girls, who are just in 10th grade, will one day follow in those very footsteps. Coming up on Pottsville's News Choice, Marty Burns is with us on Let's Talk Sports. Plus, Chris Fulmer flips the pages on A Path Through History with Wilkes-Barre Part 4. And stay with us for everything else we have lined up for you later tonight on Wyln TV.
Getting to the finish line starts with Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, the region's leader in sports medicine. Our specialists use the most advanced technology for faster, better results, so elite and everyday athletes can compete like champions once again. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Your health deserves a partner.
The Wyln Center presents Satisfaction, the International Rolling Stones Tribute Show, Friday, April 28th at the Wyln Center at the Historic Castle in Hazleton. Don't miss the international touring tribute to the world's greatest rock and roll band. Doors open at 7:30, show starts at 8. The tickets are just $33.46, and that includes all fees. Get your tickets at Bosco's at the Laurel Mall in Hazleton or Eventbrite.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information.
Welcome to this Thursday edition of Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. And the men's basketball tournament at NCAA continues tonight. Sweet 16 action in New York and Las Vegas. Let's start out west in Las Vegas, a stacked group. Going to have an 8-4 seed and a 2 and a 3 getting at it tonight. We'll start in game one. Those Razorbacks of Arkansas taking on the Connecticut Huskies. Talked about it. I said I couldn't pull the trigger on Connecticut. They've had a history of where they've gone through the West and then came away and won a national championship, doing that on 2 separate occasions. One of those led by Rip Hamilton of Connecticut. Arkansas is going to be a tough out tonight, but Connecticut really playing well. I'm going to take the Huskies of UConn to advance to Saturday. And then a big matchup, a rematch of a couple years ago in the Final Four where Gonzaga won on a buzzer beater. The Zags taking on UCLA. 3-2 are the seeds. I think Gonzaga is playing really, really well. UCLA has been hit with the injury bug. Will they be at full strength tonight? We'll have to wait and see. But Drew Timme, 20-plus points in 9 tournament games. You know, going with a class of Bill Bradley, Corliss Williamson, Danny Manning, Elvin Hayes, Rip Hamilton, to mention a few. Drew Timme in an elite crowd. I like Gonzaga to advance to Saturday. That means it'll be a 4 and a 3. UConn and Gonzaga. As much as my eyes keep telling me UConn, I'm going to stick with my heart and I'm going to go with Gonzaga to make it to the Final Four. So Gonzaga over UConn, Saturday in the Elite Eight. Let's head to Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. FDU made a run at it as a 16 seed to make it there, but was eliminated by Florida Atlantic. It'll be the Owls taking on the Volunteers of Tennessee. Tennessee, a hard-fought physical victory over Duke on Saturday. Will it be Rocky Top? Will Peyton Manning be in the Garden to lead the band? How about I'm going to go with Conference USA and Florida Atlantic to make it to the Elite Eight. And then in the other matchup that I totally did not have, Kansas State out of the Big 12 taking on Tom Izzo and Michigan State. Kansas State, they struggled. If not for Noel, they may not even be in this spot to play the Spartans at the Garden. I think one more time, Tom Izzo gets it done. Michigan State makes the Elite Eight. They play Florida Atlantic, and How can you bet against Tom Izzo? I say Michigan State makes the Final Four. So 2 of the 4, Michigan State, Gonzaga. That's my predictions. Head to your local betting places and bet against anything I say because my track record has not been the greatest. So we'll talk Fridays, Sweet 16 matchups, and more. As it'll be the end of the week, TGIF, Let's Talk Sports, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute.
When you need surgery, excellence and experience matter. So does staying close to home. At Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, you get it all. As part of Lehigh Valley Health Network's Institute for Surgical Excellence, we have the most experienced surgeons and advanced technology, including robotic-assisted surgery. For you, this means getting back to normal life. Whether it's general or orthopedic surgery, you have a local surgery partner you can trust, a partner committed to excellence. Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton, your health deserves a partner.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
Have you ever experienced that super pushy salesperson who follows you all around? Not here.
Or wandered around that big box store looking for help in the appliance department, only to find the pink guy? Not here.
And we have an experienced, courteous sales staff here to help you find the perfect mattress, piece of furniture, or appliance with no pressure.
And don't forget, everyday low prices.
You always get a feel-good shopping experience at Grand Central in Hazleton.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
Hard times would come to Wilkes-Barre in the mid-20th century as coal died a slow and steady death in the decades progressed. The death knell for deep mining in the Wilkes-Barre area would come on January 22, 1959 at the River Slope Mine owned by the Knox Coal Company. The miners had been ordered by management to dig underneath the Susquehanna River, which was against standard industry regulations. Unable to judge the thickness of the rock above them, they dug too close to the surface and the river broke into the mine, filling it with roughly 10 billion gallons of water and killing 12 men. It would take 3 days to plug the hole in the river, which was partially accomplished by pushing empty train cars into the whirlpool that had formed, and the bodies of the deceased were never recovered. Mining in northeastern Pennsylvania would not recover from the disaster either, as the rise of oil and natural gas would displace coal as a major energy source. 13 years later, the city would take another heavy blow in June 1972, when Hurricane Agnes moved through the area. The storm raised Susquehanna River levels to heights of 41 feet above the city's then existing levee systems and flooded the downtown with 9 feet of water. 128 people were killed in the storm, and 400,000 homes and businesses were destroyed, with damages totaling over $2 billion. Wilkes-Barre quickly improved its levee system afterwards to prevent such a calamity from happening again. And fortunately, Wilkes-Barre had a firm ally in Congress to help them recover from Agnes's wrath. Daniel Flood had been first elected to the House of Representatives in 1944, following several positions at the state level, including a stint working for the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. He would lose office in 1946, be re-elected a second time in 1948, was defeated again in 1952, and then won a seat a third time in 1954, the first of 11 consecutive terms in the House. Dapper Dan, as he was known, became a prominent member of the House, notably with a high-ranking seat on the House Appropriations Committee. Flood firmly supported the creation of Medicare, and, well aware of the difficulties his constituents faced with the decline of the mines, pushed for passage of the Area Redevelopment Act of 1961 and the Federal Coal Mine Health and Safety Act of 1969. When Agnes's waters crushed Wilkes-Barre, it was Flood who got Richard Nixon to personally come and examine the damage, and Flood who marshaled the overall federal response to the disaster. It took a flood to tame a flood, the congressman would brag afterwards. Throughout all Flood's career, however, numerous charges of corruption would dog him. At least 8 U.S. attorney offices would investigate him during his tenure, levying close to 200 corruption charges at him. And would come to a head in February 1978, when Flood would be formally accused of illegally giving federal grant money to a community organization in New York. A former aide would testify under oath that Flood had repeatedly received kickbacks from businesses in exchange for giving them lucrative grants. In one notable allegation, it was claimed Flood had taken money from Plains Township's Medico Industries, which at that time was rumored to be controlled by the mob, in exchange for a $4 million contract from the Defense Department to produce warheads for the Vietnam War. The fact Flood often traveled in a Medico company jet did not help his cause. He would be indicted in September 1979 on 3 counts of perjury concerning payoffs, and would be censured by Congress the following year. Seeing the writing on the wall, Daniel Flood would resign his House seat in January 1980. Later in 1972, though, Wilkes-Barre would again find itself as a place of origin, this time in the realm of television. Far away in New York, Charles Dolan, the head of Manhattan Cable, had a problem. His company, despite being the first cable company in the country to use underground cables, was losing money. To turn his luck around, Dolan hit on the idea of a new cable channel, originally to be called the Green Channel, that would show unedited movies and live sporting events without commercial interruption. In 1971, he got authorization from the FCC to move ahead with what was then called home box office, but faced the additional problem in New York City of having a pre-existing pay-TV franchise agreement. So Dolan scouted for another city to launch his new channel on. Originally, he aimed to use Allentown for the launch, but that fell through after learning that city fell within the Philadelphia 76ers blackout radius, which have hindered the live sporting events Dolan wished to run. Help came from Teleservice, later Service Electric, head John Walson, who offered to let his cable service in Wilkes-Barre be the channel's launch distributor. And so, at 7:30 p.m. on November 8, 1972, HBO went on the air to 365 initial subscribers in the Wilkes-Barre area with a Rangers-Canucks hockey game, followed by the Henry Fonda movie Sometimes Great Notion. In the years since, HBO has grown from these humble beginnings into an entertainment giant, providing hours of entertainment content for viewers. Today, a large plaque stands in Wilkes-Barre's public square to celebrate the birth of the now legendary channel in the city. And while many professional athletes have come out of Wilkes-Barre over the decades, few have captured the public's attention more than Raghib Ismail. The oldest of 3 athletic brothers, Ismail played football and track and field at Myers High School, where he earned his nickname the Rocket for his blazing fast speed. He would go on to play football at Notre Dame, where his play on the field, memorably including several kick return touchdowns, would wow fans across the nation. Notre Dame won the national championship in 1988, Ismail's freshman year, and was a major contender for the title for the remainder of his time in South Bend. Ismail finished second to Ty Detmer in the Heisman Trophy voting in 1990, and afterwards decided to turn professional. Although he seemed certain to be the number 1 pick in that year's NFL draft, it would be the Canadian Football League's Toronto Argonauts who would get Ismail's attention first. Eager to make a big splash under a new ownership group that included both Wayne Gretzky and John Candy, the Argonauts signed Ismail to a then football record $18.2 million contract. With the Rocket leading the way, the Argonauts would have a magical 1991 season, making it all the way to the championship game. There, in a contest played in temperatures well below zero, Ismail would pull off some cool runnings, returning a kickoff 87 yards for a touchdown, and ultimately winning game MVP as the Argonauts defeated the Calgary Stampeders for the Grey Cup. The following season would be less successful for the franchise, after which the Argonauts, facing financial difficulties, released Ismail. He would sign with the then Los Angeles Raiders, who had drafted him in the 4th round in 1991. Ismail would have a generally solid NFL career, racking up 5,291 total receiving yards and 30 touchdowns with 3 teams before retiring in 2003.
And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our Facebook, YouTube, or at WYLNTV.com. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.
As the 1800s dawned upon the new nation that was the United States, what would become Carbon County's northwest section was mainly swamp. Black Creek flowed through the swamps, its name coming from the dark tannic discharges from the many hemlock trees that lined its banks. It would be in fact the hemlocks that would draw the first Europeans to the area. In 1825, Benjamin Romig built a sawmill on 400 acres of land he purchased on the west side of Black Creek. Others soon followed to join him in the timber trade. And then came Asa Packer. At the time, the future head of the Lehigh Valley Railroad was in the canal business, having founded his own canal boat company. The woods around Black Creek had ample timber for building his boats and locks for the canals. Packer brought